Quick, what is the main problem with Counter-Strike? You said cheating, and you'd be right. This is one of the main issues that the Valorant developers sat down and tried to fix. I think it goes much, much deeper than that. This is the Valorant Fixed Counter-Strike Iceberg. Greetings, TheWarOwl greets you. I think the Valorant developers sat down, looked at Counter-Strike, specifically Counter-Strike 1.6, and said, what are the flaws? Made a list, and then took their time fixing them and innovating the genre, and I think this is only good for people who like to play Valorant, for people who like to play Counter-Strike, for people who like to play, I don't know, Rainbow Six Siege. I know you're out there. Randomness is a really annoying addition to a skill-based shooter. This ain't no card game, we're not calculating the odds here. In FPS, the better player is the one who clicks on the other guy first, using skill and cunning. In Counter-Strike, a huge contributor to RNG is random spawn placement. The entire flow of the early game is governed by meeting point timings. Valorant fixed this. By adding the spawn walls, you can pretty much choose anywhere on your side of the map to spawn, making the meeting points consistent every single round, and not giving advantage based on a random number generator. Also, it turns the freeze time into something where the player has autonomy, instead of just standing there frozen in space. It also means players are immediately thrust into the action right after the freeze time ends, since the new meeting points are like 1 or 2 seconds. During freeze time in Counter-Strike, it's usually a cluster. You gotta decide who buys for who, drop the right weapons, pass them across and hope they can reach them, plan out your strategy, and if you falter by a second, you'll miss your timing. And if you miss by the wrong gun, too bad! Your team's economy is screwed, and people will yell at you in a language you do not recognize. How many times have you miscalculated and ended up with an extra AK-47 sitting on the ground? Ask yourself, does this make the gameplay better? Valorant fixes this too, by allowing players to buy for other players anywhere on the map, and you can specifically request an item for them to buy you, and you can sell a weapon back if you misbuy. Not only did Valorant fix pretty much every problem with Counter-Strike, they introduced even more problems. I mean, they introduced new innovations to the genre. Why? The pinging on the map system is brilliant. I bet you forgot CSGO even had pinging. I feel like the pinging in Counter-Strike is more for Danger Zone. I think that every tactical shooter going forward should have pinging on the minimap. It helps with communication big time. Instead of calling a vague position name that nobody can agree on and my teammates will probably just ignore, I can just click where the enemy is to let them know. Or I can click where I want to let them know I'm gonna smoke. Or I can click where I want to let them know to do the thingy with the thingy. This helps with people who don't use voice chat. This helps with people who don't speak the same language. This helps with people who do speak the same language. In Global Offensive, the ranking system is enigmatic. It's a mystery. From experiments, we can tell that it factors in round wins more than anything else and uses a modified Glico 2 system. Valorant was like, nah. You win, you get points. You lose points. You get 100 points, you rank up. You play good, you get more points. You play like crap, you don't get as many points. It also doesn't seem to dramatically penalize you for taking a break from the game like Counter-Strike does. With Glico 2, to optimize ranking up, you need to play consistently, but not all at the same time. So playing once a day for 2 weeks is much better for ranking up than playing 14 games in a day and then waiting 2 weeks. If you play them all at the same time, they're worth less. Now, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm saying one is more transparent than the other. The Valorant devs are also very smart and handsome and definitely don't collect your data and are good at their jobs. Alright, I only have about 20 seconds before they send another one of them things. Valorant isn't perfect, it's got problems. I still enjoy playing Counter-Strike. There's lots of the modding stuff that goes on in Counter-Strike, custom servers, you got the replay systems. But that's not the point of the video. The point is that the devs looked at all of these things, they innovated, they tried to improve, they iterated, and that is only good for people who like tactical shooters, which is me. And I think you? Global Offensive has a huge barrier to entry in utility. To play well at all, you have to learn countless smoke lineups, pop flashes, Molotov positions. It makes learning the game kind of a pain in the ass. If I don't regularly drill my smokes, I will forget them, and you can lose an entire round if your smoke is even slightly off. I know, because I have. Valorant fixed this by having some agents requiring complicated lineups and others not so much. If I want to spend 30 minutes every day of my life drilling lineups, I can play Sova, but I'm a grown man who doesn't play Valorant full-time. I'm more of a Counter-Strike guy. So if I want to hop in and play the game and click on people and still play at a higher level, I can play Reyna. I'd say overall, the utility in Valorant is much more fun to use than Counter-Strike. To smoke, you just click where you want it to go. In Counter-Strike, you gotta do this. Ask yourself, does this make the gameplay better? Cheating is objectively the worst problem with Global Offensive. It makes the game unplayable in matchmaking. Valorant removed the incentive to wall hack by making it a gameplay feature. There is still cheating in Valorant. There's going to be cheating in any game, but it's much less of a problem than other games because of the incredibly intrusive and possibly dangerous anti-cheat system Vanguard. I've only come across 3 or 4 cheaters my entire time playing Valorant. Were I to queue with my solo queue account in Global Offensive, I'd get 3 or 4 cheaters a match. You wonder why solo queue to global stopped. Valorant also has 128 tick servers in matchmaking, but only 73 packets per second update rate. Shh, don't tell nobody, they don't want you to know that. And better netcode overall than Global Offensive. Whatever you think about either game, getting a match in Counter-Strike is a pain in the ass. To get anti-cheat in 128 tick servers, I need to use a third-party system. In Valorant, I press the button, and bam, I'm playing the game.
Well, actually, Mr. TheWarOwl, you've fallen for the placebo effect. There's no difference between 64 tick and 128 tick.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I mean, you are wrong. Valorant's innovation has even influenced the design of Counter-Strike. When you play Valorant, your eyes burn and your brain dies because you have to see the horribly designed, embarrassing crosshairs of your teammates. Bam! New update. Counter-Strike got that. This is how Counter-Strike got to where it is today. It has been refined through natural selection over 2 decades. Originally created as a mod of Half-Life, the maps have evolved, the mechanics have evolved, the rules have evolved to the point where it is now a beautiful game. But let's not get stuck like we did with CS 1.6. Do you remember when Counter-Strike was in beta and everybody was like, no, CS 1.6 is the only Counter-Strike. It will be around forever, for generations to... Yeah, it didn't happen that way, did it? There's always room for innovation and improvement, and Valorant is the perfect opportunity for that. And I'll give you this warning, if Counter-Strike doesn't evolve, it'll get devoured. It pretty much already has in North America. What Valorant can't bring over from Counter-Strike, they can't iterate or improve on, is the history, the heart, the soul of the game, which is creation by community. Valorant, after over a year, doesn't even have a replay system. They don't have community servers, they don't have community content, they don't have maps, they don't even have iteration on the maps. I'm convinced that the devs, the smart guys who make the game, probably had to pull teeth to get Riot to include a voice chat system. Counter-Strike is a grape. Rainbow Six Siege is a raisin. Valorant is purple flavor. I want wine. Thank you folks very much for watching. I'm TheWarOwl and I still have no closer. And handsome and good at their jobs. And they... All right, I had actually stuck in the thing. It's stuck in the thing, but it's stuck backwards.